Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dudu back at it again with another banging video. In today's video, as you already see by the title, I am going to be telling you all about the UK student visa. I'm going to be telling you the documents you need to apply for it, how long processes take, how much the different parts of the visa application process cost, and yeah, basically everything you need to know to apply for it. I personally applied for the student visa in 2020. I did not use an agent, so everything you're gonna get from this video is from what I researched on. I attended a lot of online events when it came to like what you need to apply for your visa and everything, so I have a lot of information that is well researched. So if you do like the sound of everything that I'm talking about, make sure you keep watching this video. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below to join this amazing family, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. And with that being said, let's get straight on into today's video. So before we get into detail with all the different documents, I'll just give you a list of all the documents you will need when applying for the visa. So first, obviously, you're going to need your passport, and you should have a blank page so that they can put the visa. Secondly, you're going to need a CAS, which is a confirmation of acceptance of studies, which is going to be issued by your university. We'll just get into that into more detail later. 3, you're going to need financial documents. Now this is the core of the whole application, but we'll get into that. So you have to have financial documents to prove that you can like sustain yourself in the first year, and you can also pay your tuition for the first year of university. You may or may not need an ATAS certificate. ATAS is basically Academic Technology Approval Scheme, which is mainly for postgraduate students who want to do research programs. You'll need to prove that you have a qualification in English, which is something that is very popular and most people know about. You're going to need to show your original copies of your academic results certificates, and finally you may or may not need to have a TB test done. That is basically all the documents, and now we're just going to get into them in more detail and actually talk about how to get them and everything. So first, the CAS. I'm pretty sure you've seen this CAS word in a lot of different places. The CAS stands for Confirmation of Acceptance of Studies, and it's something issued by your university to basically prove that you have a place with them and you know you're actually going to study there. So the CAS is in a form of a reference number, and it is what you're going to put into your visa application form, and the immigration people are basically able to put that number into their systems, and they can see all the information: your name, the university, your course, how much your tuition is, how long it's for, whether you need an ATAS, all those little things. I actually have my CAS document over here. I printed it out, so I'll put it on screen so you guys can see how it is. Just, you know, basic details that are about you and your link to the university. So it's very important that you check the details on your CAS very carefully. You have your passport number as well on it, so you want to check that it's correct. Check the spelling of your name. This document is actually very helpful when you're filling in your visa application form, because you will be asked to put the name of your university, their location, their contact, your program, different information that you may not know off of your heart. So it's very important to just have this form to fill that in. So how do you actually get this CAS? You have to have an unconditional offer with your university, have paid any deposit if they are, proven any results, certificates if you need to. So if you got a conditional offer and they say you need to, you know, get these results, pay this deposit, or do ABC, you need to do all those things before you can get your CAS. And for me, I had a portal with my university, so I was able to communicate with them, see what I needed to provide. If there was, they were able to email me to say, you know, we didn't get the certificate, can you send it through so we can prove the results you put in your UCAS application? And I did that, and basically once you provide everything you need to provide, they'll just send you this document that is called the CAS. It's very important to try and do this early because it's the first step to applying for your visa. If you only receive your results in August, it is going to be your last step, but make sure that you provide everything else that you need to provide. So once you get your results, you're just sending those through, and within a week you have your CAS and you can basically just finish off the visa process. CAS numbers are basically first issued from 3 months before your start date. So if you're gonna start university like on the 1st of September, they're usually first issued on the 1st of June. So you want to like check as soon as they start issuing, you want to make sure you have already done your things. So before, as soon as you get your conditional offer, start providing information so you're at the point where once they start issuing, you're like the first batch of people receiving. So one thing to note is that if you don't use your CAS number within 3 months, you'll have to ask for another one. You don't have to prove anything else, but you just have to ask for a different CAS number because that one would have expired. And if you do use the CAS number and your visa is rejected, you have to ask for a new CAS number. So don't just go and use that same CAS because it's no longer valid. That's just something to note. So next we have proof of finances, so your bank statements. This is literally the core of a visa application. So they basically want to know that you're able to support yourself and pay your tuition for the entire of your first year of university, which means that in those bank statements you have to have the money to cover your entire tuition for your first year, and that amount is stated on the CAS. So if you look into that CAS document again, there will be a section that says tuition, and if you've paid a deposit, that will be deducted, so you only have to show that you have the balance for the tuition. So on top of that, you have to show that you're able to support yourself whilst you're in the country in terms of rent, living expenses, travel, and the like. So when it comes to this, the UK government actually came up with estimates per month of how much you need when you're in London and other places. So if you're in London, they estimate that for each month you'll need £1,334, and you have to show that you can support yourself for 9 months, which is usually the length of the academic year. In your account you have to have £12,006. So on your account you have to show that you have the tuition plus £12,006. If you're outside London, you have to have £1,023 per month times 9 months, which means that in total you have to have £9,207. So obviously that's a lot of money, and it's not going to be in one account. And personally, coming out of high school, I wasn't even proving that the money was mine. I was using my parents. So yes, you can use your parents, and your parents can use more than one account as long as it's under their name and not a business or anything like that. With that being said, you can only use your parents or legal guardian. You cannot use your aunties and uncles to like prove that you have that money in their accounts. And if you are going to use your parents or legal guardian, you have to provide your birth certificate or a legal document to show that, you know, this is your parent or this is your legal guardian. And they have to, on top of that, which is very important, write a letter to say that they allow you, their child, or their person they're caring for to use their finances to finance their university tuition and cost of living and all of that. I'll leave a link in the description with a document where I'll put the template of the letter that your parents or legal guardian needs to write to state all of this. So when it comes to these bank documents, the amount of money has to be in the account for 28 consecutive days. That means 28 days straight. This being said, it doesn't mean that you can't use the accounts during those 28 days, but it just means that for those 28 days, you need to have the amount untouched. So for example, if we say tuition is £10,000 and then maybe you're in London, which means you need to have £12,006, you need to have £22,006 in your account that is left untouched for those 28 days. If you're using different accounts, make sure that the days correspond. The 28th day, or whichever day, which is at least over 28 days, that you print it out is the same on all the accounts. I hope that makes sense because that was a mouthful, but make sure you print them all out on the same day so that you prove that you didn't take money from another one and then switch it, and then, you know, things like that. After you print those bank statements, you can only use them for the next 31 days, which means your timing has to be perfect. After you print them out, your visa appointments have to all be If you're from a certain list of countries that I'll put on the screen and put a link down below, you do not have to prove that you can sustain yourself whilst you're in the country. So you don't have to prove the 9-month cost, the 12,006 and whatnot. I'll just put the list of countries there. It's just a couple of countries. Most of them, actually, you do have to prove that amount. So just take note of that. If you have a scholarship, then you have to provide an official letter from the organization that gave you the scholarship, and it has to be proper, stamped by them, signed by them. It has to have your full name, show how much money exactly that they're providing to you, how long they're supporting you, and their contact details so that the immigration officers can call and confirm that you have that scholarship and all of that. Document should also show whether it's a full or part scholarship, and if it is a part scholarship, then obviously you do have to have the financial documents that I was talking about, but with the amounts that balance out your scholarship amount. So I hope that makes sense. The story about 28 days and everything will still apply to the part amount that you have. So yeah, that is it with proof of finances. It's very important that you follow the day and everything is to the point. Don't try and do anything sketchy, because like I said, this is the point that will really make or break you. And I know it's a lot of money, but it's just like for those 28 days, and so yeah, I hope you find this useful. If you have any questions about the bank statements, documents, days, and all of that, just leave them down in the comments. So next we have English language qualification. So to apply for a visa, you also have to have a certain English language qualification. Now this is usually the same as the qualification that you need for the university. Personally, I didn't have to write a different test. I didn't even have to write the first test. If you've watched my other videos, I mentioned that I had Cambridge International AS level English, and my uni was happy with that. And in my CAS, it actually stated that I had proven that I know my English and I don't need to do anything extra. So because it's in my CAS, I also did not have to prove it for my visa. So just make sure you check that CAS document, because it has a lot of useful information. But with that being said, it never hurts to provide. So I still had my English certificate with the documents that I carried to the visa appointment. So if you have not written any English test, I would suggest that you do write one, or check with the university, because the university is actually very helpful when it comes to these visa things, these application things. They know a lot of information about it, and they can tell you whether or not you need to write an extra test or anything like that. I'll leave a link down below to the types of English tests that they accept in like the visa application. Next, linking to certificates, you need to go with your original academic results certificate. So if you look into your CAS, you will see the qualifications that were used to give you that place, and mine personally were A-level results, and it was written there all my different A-level qualifications that had me get that place. So when I went to the appointment, I carried my original A-level results certificate. And again, because I'm extra, and it's always better to be extra, because at the end of the day, you're trying to prove who you are, you're trying to prove that your intentions are really just for education. I carried all my certificates, original certificates, for the exam results that I put into my UCAS application. So just carry your original documents, photocopy them so that you have copies, but just have the original because you want to prove. So next we have the TB test. So if you're from a certain list of countries, which I'll put on the screen, you have to do a TB test if you're going to be going to the UK for a period of longer than 6 months, and obviously going to study is longer than 6 months. So I'll leave the link in the description so you can see the list of countries. And if you're going to do this test, when you do this test, don't just do it anywhere. There are a list of trusted places where you have to do that test. Personally, being from Zimbabwe, the one I had to go to was in Harare, called Diagnostic Imaging Center. And again, the list that I'll put in the description, you can find the trusted places in each country, so make sure you check that out. This test is $165 in Zimbabwe specifically. I'm not sure about the other countries. So this test actually is valid for 6 months, and you get a certificate after you do it. They do a chest x-ray and a physical exam, and you get a certificate to say you're safe and you're free. This test is valid for 6 months. So if you're smart and you want to do your visa applications with no stress, if you know you're traveling whenever or you're applying whenever, you can actually do your TB test way earlier than you do your visa applications. So those are all the main documents that you need in your visa application, and now I'm just going to talk about the actual application form. So I'll leave a link down below to the application form for the visa. The visa application form is basically what you use to apply for the visa and book your appointment, to submit everything, and that's where you're also going to put in your CAS, the information about your study, and information about yourself. So I'll leave a link down below to the visa application form, and that is something that you can basically fill in from even way before you start your visa processes, just so you can see what's there, what's needed, and all of that. If you have any questions about it, the details there, I know some things can be a bit confusing, but like I said, your CAS, make sure you have your CAS next to you. Most of the confusing things are on your CAS document. So once you have completed the whole thing, you will get to a point where you have to pay a insurance health surcharge. This is a very shocking amount and it's very confusing because it comes at the end of your whole application and you cannot submit that application form before you pay that amount. So that amount is £470 per year of your study. So if you're going to study for 3 years, you're going to have to pay £1,410 for the health surcharge. This is basically your medical insurance when you're in the UK. That is something that comes at the end of that application form. The actual application also has a cost and it is £385. So to send your application, you will have to pay the health surcharge as the last step, and then after that you have to pay for the application as a whole, and that is £385. I hope I'm not scaring you because the numbers are a lot, but this is just me being frank and trying to like put it out there for you. So those are basically all the documents that you need when you're applying for your visa. Of course, there's always these extra things according to your course or which country you're from, so just always stay alert. Check your university websites for the international student support. There's always information. I don't know how much I can stress this, but it's always there. There's always information. I know people like to hear it, but it's there just to check that you have everything. When it comes to the timing, it's really different for everyone and a lot of things can happen concurrently, but first things first is chase after that CAS. Make sure you send everything that the university needs so that you can get your CAS, because that's the one thing that you don't have entire control of. So once you chase that CAS and hopefully get it early, you can start thinking about your financial documents and doing the 28-day thing. And again, 28 days is actually the minimum, so you can do more than 28 days, but make sure you start chasing the documents and also start doing your visa application form. And like I said, TB test, you can do it even way before you start your application, as long as it's within the 6 months. And it takes about 3 weeks for your visa to come up. You can pay for it to come early, but personally, I don't think it's worth it. If you time your things right, 3 weeks is more than enough, and most of the time it doesn't even take 3 weeks. Mine personally took about a week and a half, which was really good and really amazing. So yeah, make sure you're on top of things, you know what you need to do, because you don't want to be shocked in the last minute, like financial things where you need to have 28 days and you want to travel like in the next month type of thing. Yeah, I hope this has been helpful, and if you have any questions about anything, maybe something I didn't mention, make sure you leave it down below in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer that. So with that being said, we have come to the end of today's video. I really hope you found this useful, because I know visa process is a stressful thing and there's not a lot of clear information out there about the things you need and the different processes. If you didn't find this useful but you know someone it can help, don't forget to share this video around. And if you've come all the way to the end of the video and you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below to join this amazing family. Turn on the post notifications so you're notified every single time that I post a new video. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. Check out the playlist that I created called Road to Uni about all the different other processes leading up to applying for your visa. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.